Hey guys, Zeramus555 here, coming to you guys with a deck profile. So my Samurai deck profile did really well. I kind of figured it would. There's not really a lot of good Samurai profiles on YouTube anymore, I guess because people have just given up on the deck. I did change a little bit. I did actually put in a second Asceticism and dropped Dojo down to 2 again, which is how I had it before. I do really like Dojo better than Asceticism. I hate that card, but I think Asceticism is still really good. And I put Zanji back in as much as I don't really like him. I prefer Hand because you can search her. Zanji's just nice because you can do some cool XYZ plays and stuff. So it's just really standard Samurai. But since that video did get to 30 likes finally, it's got a decent amount of views, especially for not making videos in such a long time. I can now show you guys my Geargia, or Karakuri Geargia deck profile. I mean, it's really standard. You guys have probably all seen it before. Geargia is really, I got a couple little weird texts in here, but ultimately the deck is just like super straightforward. And other than that, there's nothing really surprising about it. Probably after this, if I get this to 30 likes as well, which will hopefully happen fairly fast, I will most likely be doing a Cyber Dragon deck profile. I've been playing the deck quite a bit online. It's actually really fun. It's still really good, this format, and I mean, I like the Cyber Dragon stuff. I think it's pretty sweet. So, anyways, without further ado, let's go on the deck profile here. So we got the 3 armor, obviously that's staple. I'm only running 2 Arsenal. I tested 3 out for a long time. It is nice because like it adds those more consistent hands if you don't open armor, but I mean armor is at 3 still. Plus we have Geargiagear. So I just feel like 3 of this guy is just super cloggy. I know it's preference, and I've heard some people say you're bad if you don't play 3, but I think you're bad if you think you're bad that you don't, or you're not playing 3. Just for the fact that, I mean, it really comes down to preference. This is just a Lone Fire Blossom, and his only usefulness is gain armor. So past that, once you get the armor on the board and you start using his effect, these are generally pretty dead. So because you don't really want to waste your normal summon on that guy. So I think 2 is just that really good number. I've never been a big fan of like 3 unless the card's like you have to run 3 because it's just way too good, such as Accelerator. Now I will say anyone who only runs 2 is bad because this card is insane. It's basically like the Keystone of the deck. Really good card, and it just helps with the OTKs. I actually think when the deck does get hit, we could be seeing Accelerator go down to 1 and Geargiagear go down to 1 as well, and I think that will really slow the deck down. Especially with all the new support coming out, but I guess we'll have to see what happens until that time comes. So obviously you have your, sorry for the glare, you have your 4 Geargiano guys. Nothing really to say about them. The best guy out of all of them, though, is without a doubt Geargiano, just the regular one. He's so awesome. Once he's in the graveyard, after you have like a Saizan or something in there, you just like really start doing crazy combos. So for tuners, I do have the 3 Karakuri guys, the 2 Saizan, or Watchdog, and then the 1 Nishipachi. I've seen a lot of people starting to run the pure Geargia. I don't think it's very good. I think the deck is definitely, like, it's viable, and you can definitely play it in a big tournament, and you'll do really well. I just feel like you should be playing the tuner monsters. People are like, oh, they're bad because they add inconsistency. This is true, but they also add versatility, and a lot of times in games, and this is the reason why so many players argue that the extra deck needs to be bigger, is that versatility is such a crucial element to the game, and I think that also is dictated by the deck you're playing as well. Decks that are generally predictable, or ones that you can figure out the plays before they even happen, are the ones that you can usually beat easier. And I feel like with the Karakuri version, you just have so much versatility into what you can go into through your extra deck that it really just adds that extra surprise factor. Even though your opponent knows generally what you're playing, he doesn't know what play you're going to go for next. With the pure Geargia version, you don't really have that surprise factor. You just have a bunch of rank 4 plays, which is great, but I mean, ultimately having the tuners as well just opens up the option to OTK. It also opens up a better option to control via Stardust Dragon with a bunch of back row, which is still extremely powerful. So I think the Karakuri version is better, so obviously you gotta run the Birdman as well. And for my last 3 monsters, I did run 3 Valor. I was playing 2, wasn't seeing it enough, so I bumped it up to 3, and it's testing really well. I think if I was going to drop it down to 2, I really don't know what else I'd put in here, because it's running really well. I'd maybe throw in the third arsenal, but I'd rather have a Veiler in my hand than a dead arsenal, to be completely honest. So on the spells, I'm only running 6, which is usually bigger than most Geargias. 3 MST. I do not run the upstart because I like to keep my opponent at 8,000 or lower, just for the fact that usually the OTKs are just over 8,000. There are some games where you can obviously drop more, but I feel like it's not really. You don't really need upstart. I'm not a big fan of the big Hoban thing, anyways. Unless you're playing an OTK or a deck that has like a 1 OTK thing, like Cyber Dragons or whatever. I'm running 1 Iron Call. That's what I dropped the other Arsenal for. Just opens up versatility, and if you open, or you draw like a tuner in that thing, you can do at least a synchro play and kind of keep going. 1 Mind Control. This card is amazing. This is what adds consistency to the Geargia, or sorry, the Karakuri engine. Is this card is you can basically just grab a level 4 off your opponent, even a 5 if you have Birdman or Nishipachi, and you can just make an 8, and it just puts you in a really good spot. It's just a really good card, and it's been tested extremely well. I ended up dropping Dark Hole for it, and I'm probably not going to go back. And then 1 Book of Moon just works really well with armor, and it's still just a really good card, and it helps you if you get traps done and you have it set as well. So on the traps, I do run 15. It's a huge trap lineup, which is usually the kind of decks I like playing. 3 Gear. This card is busted. You have to run 3. It's like way too good. I was even testing the deck at 1 before the other 2 I got showed up in the mail. But the card is just like, even at 1, the card's nasty. If you draw it, you usually win. The ideal hand is to open armor, a Geargiagear, a Veiler, and some traps, and you usually win. Like, it's just too hard for your opponent to come out of that, and in most situations, you generally win. Just off the Geargiagears. It's just so crazy. 3 Fiendish Chain. This card's amazing. I'm running 3 in like every deck right now, just because it's Fiendish Chain. 2 Call the Hunted. I was running 1, but I wasn't seeing enough, so I bumped up to 2, and this helps a lot with the tuner plays. It's also really good because if they pop like Bear or something and pops your armor, you just activate this in the end phase or your standby phase or whatever, and you just bring it back, and then you just flip it down, flip it back up, and you start doing combos. And it's basically just an instant rank 4 XYZ or level 8 synchro in that situation. I'm running 2 Mirror Force as well. It's just too good still. I just love Mirror Force. Great card. 1 Compulsory. I still love Compulsory. Everyone's like, dude, it's bad now because of Boojins and stuff, but I mean, you can still get rid of those XYZs, and you're still going to be running into like rogue matchups, and obviously Abyss Gaios can really hurt this deck, especially if you don't get a Fiendish Chain on them. 1 Torrential Tribute. A lot of Geargia players don't play this, but I find a lot of times you don't always have board presence. A lot of times you do, like 90% of the time you will, but sometimes this can just help you out of a jam. Your opponent doesn't always expect it, so. And this deck just comes back so easily that it just doesn't even matter. Excuse me. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Solemn Warning, and then I am running just 1 Trap Stun. I see a lot of people run 2. I was playing 2, but I was getting these really annoying hands where I'd open like an MST and like 2 Trap Stuns, or like a Trap Stun, 2 MSTs, and it was just like, oh, and especially if you play against a deck that doesn't have a lot of back row, like Mermail or something, that's not really the greatest thing to draw. So I decided just to drop it down 1 Trap Stun, because usually the MSTs are enough, and you know, all you really need is the 1 Trap Stun to go off. I mean, I get why people run 2, because you want to like get to it faster, but generally a lot of games you can win just by damage. You don't even need to go off with the Trap Stun, so just the 1's good. So that's the main deck's 40 cards. I'll just go to the extra deck really quick. For people who ask, I do not do side decks in my video. Side decks come down to what your locals is, or which is always going to be changing. Generally, like side decks, I'll show if I go to a regionals event, but I've only ever been to 2 regionals. So luckily, I'm just about done the semester, so I'll probably be going out to Skyhaven fairly soon, just for a Saturday or something, and saying hi to the guys and hopefully hopping in the tournaments there. Because I'm going to be going down to visit my friend anyways. So 1 Bureido. I don't like 2. 1's fine. The deck doesn't, or extra deck doesn't have enough room. 1 Crimson Blader. Scrap Dragon. I see a lot of people not running this guy. This guy's MVP. When you have like your dead Fiendish Chains, your dead Call the Haunted sitting on the board, you just bring this guy out and he just wins games. He's so good. So good. 1 Stardust Dragon. Amazing. And then for 7s, I have 2 Burei. You make Burei more than you do Bureido, but generally the combo is like you go Burei into Bureido and then to like Stardust or a Crimson Blade or Scrap, whatever you need to do to get that damage on the board. If you know you can't kill your opponent that turn, you're usually going to make Stardust, but otherwise you're going to, you know, make Scrap Dragon pop a back row and then hit that last card that might be a Mirror Force and go from there. One Black Rose. This deck can make it off of one card, so that's always kind of busted. On to XYZs, 2 Gear Gigant X's. You don't need more than that. I think if you're running the pure version, you could probably get away with 3, but I don't know. I just feel like 2 is just that nice number. You don't really need more than that. I don't have 101 because he's super expensive. I don't also have Exciton Knight because he's even more expensive, and I don't play competitively enough to make that a viable purchase. Excuse me. So I basically run the Blackship of Corn over the 101. Obviously, it does not replace that card. 101 is an amazingly powerful card. It definitely is much better than Blackship, but Blackship's just a good replacement, and it helps with the destruction that the deck is sometimes lacking. 1 Diamond Direwolf, just nice for picking up those back rows off of a free Gear Gigant or something. The 1 Dweller helps the water matchup. I do run Cowboy. I don't really ever make him. I'm probably going to end up dropping Cowboy for Maestroke. I don't have Maestroke in here, but I just find Maestroke I usually don't make it that much anymore. Rank 3s, I run Soul Silver Mountain. You could run Alucard as well, but I like this better because you can grab back like armor. It's also really good just because it stuns back rows, and it's got a bigger butt than Alucard, so it's just a good card. And I do run Zenmaines. I really like this card a lot. Zenmaines is still great because a lot of people don't play it anymore, but it's so passive aggressive that you can either play it defensively or you can play aggressively, and either way it's still a great card. So anyways guys, that's the deck. Thanks for watching. I will have the deck list down below. Might not be right away, but it'll be pretty quick here. I do have to go to work in a couple minutes. So anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below, and let's try and get us to 30 likes, and I'll have that Cyber Dragon deck up for you guys as soon as possible. Anyways, thanks for watching. Peace.